Podcast, WATP.
I want to start off because I think there's people in this audience, possibly, who aren't super familiar with Jojo Siwa.
Yeah, I'm not at all.
It's possible that there are people who aren't. So I thought I would start off with a little backgrounder. She just dropped a new album, and she's celebrating it with this album party at a Dave & Buster's or something.
I'm your guilty pleasure.
We're 1 hour away. I have shit just about every brick possible. I've cried 3 times today. I've thrown 2 tantrums, 3 meltdowns. But what can I do now? Absolutely nothing.
So that's Jojo Siwa. And she's very excited about this big party. She's cried 3 times. She's thrown 2 temper tantrums and had 3 meltdowns. The reason why I wanted to play that clip for you, because as we listen to her podcast, this is what her personality is that she is an emotional wreck and a huge pain in the ass at all times. I would want nothing to do with this person in my life. She seems like a problem.
The thing that I've picked up on it is that she's very proud of who she is.
Yep.
I don't know why, though. That's where I'm at with her.
This is her dancing to her own song at said Dave & Buster's, and she's the only one dancing. This is embarrassing. I wish the camera would like pan out a little bit so you can see.
Everyone's like,
well, people are like playing pinball and shit. They're just like, what is going on over there? She's way too into it. It's like, honey, dance to Lady Gaga. This is your song.
security.
She looks like a real pain in the ass. So she was famous because she was on some Dance Moms reality show.
Yeah, she was on that show with Abby Lee Miller.
Yes.
The one who went to jail for, I believe, taxes.
Well, she's also like a crunt. Like no one likes this woman, it appears.
Well, look what she did to the world.
Yes.
Look what she did to this poor girl.
Right. It seems like a problem. I'm going to start off with a clip. She does these shows. Every episode is about 20 minutes long, and she does her top 5 of something. So she did the top 5 people she would not have on her podcast. This is a recent episode. I thought I would check in on that.
Not recently, honestly, at this point, it's pretty old, not gonna lie. Went viral for saying, quote, at the iHeartRadio Music Awards, I was asked who my dream guest on my podcast would be, and I honestly, in the spur of the moment, said one of my exes, and I said, let's spice it up a bit, and truly, that would spice it up a bit, for sure.
Was that a viral answer that she gave? She does do a lot of things that go viral. I'm not saying she isn't famous. She has one of her music videos on her YouTube channel is like 740 million views or some shit. No, it's only 74 million. I might have added 100 million onto that. Now that I would multiply. Whatever, not the point. There's a lot of views. She is very well known. She is very famous. I don't know that answer of I might have one of my exes on my show would be like, whoa, this is groundbreaking. Didn't Guys We Fucked already do that? Pretty sure. Let's see what her issue is with these people she will not have on her podcast.
I don't believe in being a dick for views. I know it might seem like that, but the only time I will be a dick online is if somebody's a dick first. Like, I don't fuck with that. I don't mess with people using others for views, using others for clout. That's not cool. It's not nice. It's not funny. But if you try it and you try it with me, game on. If you open that door, I will walk through it. I will play ball.
You know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like she doesn't draw first blood.
It's exactly what it sounds like.
Yes.
I wrote that down earlier when I was listening to that.
Yeah.
She has a lot of similarities to John.
Yeah, she does like to get into it with people.
She can hold a grudge, and she's looking for a fight.
Yes. But then acts like she's the victim as well.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to get into. I have some examples of that. So she's playing all of this beautifully like a 21-year-old super rich and famous narcissist would. She's super obnoxious. I don't know who would be a fan of this. But one person who is not a fan of this is Candace Owens. Are you aware of her beef with Candace Owens?
Well, I can see them not getting along.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
I understand that. So let's hear what...
because Jojo Siwa is a racist.
No, that's not why.
I'm sorry.
That's not it. Let's see what the origin is here of this.
I was just guessing.
Number 1 on that list, Candace Owens. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Her and I do not fuck with each other.
Okay. So I was unaware of the Jojo Siwa Candace Owens rivalry. So I went ahead and looked this up. And this is Candace on her show talking about what her issue is with JoJo.
Who knows? And I also said this a couple of weeks ago when talking about Jojo Siwa, who I said is a remarkably talented girl. I watched her on Dance Moms. I thought I was very kind as Candace Owens can be in discussing her and how difficult it is being a child star and constantly having cameras in your face. I think Jojo Siwa was not able to develop mentally as a normal person would, right? Constantly being told by her parents to pursue the spotlight. And what that spiraled into was first and foremost her creating kids content on YouTube, great, but
so far, so good. Sounds about right. We see this with a lot of the Britney Spears, these different people who get famous young and don't really get to develop like a normal child, adolescent, adult would.
Right, because they're a product.
Right.
then as she's growing up and going through that awkward phase that a lot of people go through, she's seeking to figure out who she is, right? But because she's in the spotlight, she just jumps and says she's a lesbian. I don't buy that Jojo Siwa is a lesbian because her coming out video was just strange. You don't just say I'm a lesbian because I didn't want to have sex with one guy on a date and I saw Jenna doing dancing. And B, because it's taken over every layer of her life. It's like she just needs to talk about being lesbian. And I think what's happening is that she got such positive, immediate feedback from the quote unquote community that she now feels like she has to burrow herself further and further into this.
So did you weren't expecting this?
Hold on.
You should have.
Well, first off, I'm going to defend JoJo here. When I was her age, all I wanted to talk about was pussy too.
Yeah. No shit. It's always on my mind.
And I will also say this. I definitely believe this girl is a lesbian.
Oh, yes.
And if it was...
her mannerisms, 100%.
Listen, if I'm casting a Peanuts movie, ladies and gentlemen, meet my peppermint patty.
Yes,
okay?
I agree.
Like, she's... whatever, Candace. This is stupid.
Candace Owens is calling her out and saying, you know, you came out of the closet for clout so that people would celebrate you.
Is that a good look?
I don't think so, but
Doesn't seem that way.
I'll let her go on a little bit here, and then we'll see what JoJo's response was to this.
I said this respectfully, JoJo. I'm not buying it. I know people that are lesbians. It's not an act, you know. It's not like every time you see me, I have to talk about being a lesbian. It's like I just happen to be black, you know. It's not like every time you see me, I'm like, well, I just got to talk to you about blackness and what it means to be black.
She was talking about her blackness again. Jesus, Candace Owens, we get it.
Yeah, we know
black
you're black.
Conservative. We get it.
You don't have to wear linebacker shoulder pads. We know you're black.
We get it. All right, so what Candace does on her show here, did you want to say something?
No, I was just saying, wouldn't it be weird if we found out that Candace Owens was playing black?
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be a twist.
Also a lesbian.
Somebody sprays her with a super soaker, like, oh no, jig is up.
So Candace comes out and says, look, and it looks like you're just trying to play into this whole LGBTQIA thing and you want to be popular and get all these accolades. And I don't believe that you're actually a lesbian. A real lesbian wouldn't be flaunting it the way that you are. And so what JoJo did is made a video response to that. And Candace watches this on her show and then responds to it, which this is kind of funny.
Saw the clip of our podcast circulating on Twitter, and the caption of that podcast clip was, is Jojo Siwa lying about being a lesbian for attention? She responded to it and she said, I haven't watched this video yet, but if it has anything to do with your caption, respectfully, back the F off. This is what she said to me. Respectfully, no. You are obviously a cultural figure. You have tons of little girls that follow you. I am going to respond to what you are teaching them, which is that if you purport to be a part of the LGBTQIA community, you're going to be super happy and everyone's going to love you and you're going to get awards. And so she then decided to create a video response to me. And here is that video response. Take a listen. I don't believe Jojo Siwa is a lesbian, by the way. I want to state that very clearly. I do believe that she's desperate for attention, and you're not going to believe what she's doing now.
YouTube and pop star Jojo Siwa is opening up about her coming out story for the first time.
It's the first time that they'd ever had same-sex hearing on Dancing with the Stars. You're the brave person you are.
Through Ellen DeGeneres.
Whole lot of rainbows.
Yeah, lots of rainbows. Rainbow clothes. Elton John.
17, you were able to do something that took people of my generation decades.
Her cousin got her a best gay cousin ever shirts.
The world over. By showing that
7 people tweeted.
Yeah, a lot of celebrities are excited about it.
Yeah, so JoJo just created a video to prove my point. I think she should have watched the initial video. And the reason that she's doing this performance is because she's getting a lot of attention. So she basically put together a video in which Elton John credits her, in which Ellen DeGeneres credits her, in which she's on Dancing with the Stars.
What do those two people know about being gay? Anyway.
Dude, her podcast in 25 years is to be like, Elton John said I was the best. Yes! She's going right down that road,
More
guys.
Stuttering John parallels.
Yeah,
She's going right
it.
down that road, I'm telling you.
I love that. Okay, so that was Candace's take, and I think we all agree that Jojo Siwa was probably a lesbian. I just get that sense from everything that I've seen.
Smell her fingers from here.
Yes, I agree. But I do think that she did not respond to that very well. She kind of gave Candace Owens more fuel. And here's another John parallel, not to make this all about John all the time.
Sure.
But Candace, no, I'm sorry, not Candace. JoJo is not just sticking up for herself. I mean, this is for the little people too, you know?
Yeah.
Because what else are you here for except for to do good deeds for people?
Now, my thing is let people live, right? But if somebody is going to come after me, going to come after my people, going to attack, absolutely not. I will always stand up for myself. I will always stand up for the people that I love and care about. I'll stand up for the people that I love and care about more than I will stand up for myself. Like, people can say shit about me, but the thing Candace Owens is she wasn't going after me. She was going after a whole community of people, and that's not okay. I will go to fucking bat at all times for my people, and the LGBTQ community is absolutely my people, absolutely my family, and I will always fight for them. Of course, I would be a fool not to.
So she totally changed what this whole dynamic is.
Yeah, and I think Candace was pretty specific about her target there.
Right. One person is specifically, she's like, I know other lesbians. They just don't behave this way.
I bet there's a ton of lesbians saying this woman does not speak for us.
Oh, I would imagine so. Yeah. Whenever I go to the Pride Parade and the big events they have, like, the way that lesbians carry themselves is the opposite of this. But, you know, I don't know. Everyone's different. Everyone's an individual. I just thought that was funny that she tried to make it about the entire community. She was going after the entire community.
After she stopped the recording, she just went, narrative shifted.
Yep. I did it again. Missy B, do you want to join us to talk about Jojo Siwa? Welcome, Missy B. How you doing?
Good. Sorry, I'm late.
No, you're okay. You're coming off a triumphant appearance on Point Dabble Point yesterday.
No, I'm double dipping in the dabble.
Love it. Love it. So you're familiar with Jojo Siwa, correct?
Unfortunately.
Okay. So one more thing about Candace Owens here, and then we'll move on to the next feud she's having.
I don't have time to deal with not nice people or people who aren't kind to everybody and people who start shit. You know what I mean? Like, if you start it, I'll finish it, but I don't mess with people who start it. You know what I mean? Like, I'll finish it and then I'll be done with you.
That doesn't make any sense, Rick.
What the fuck did she just say? And also, not nice people. I don't think Candace Owens, I mean, you could disagree with her take on it. I think we all did. But it wasn't like she was being a dick about it.
Yeah, she was professional.
Yeah. It wasn't like, oh, you said that I'm not a lesbian? Well, then you hate the LGBTQ community. You want us all to die. Like, well, maybe. But that's not what she said. For sure.
Yeah, and within that, she said,
You've been reading my diary?
she said, I got tons of lesbian friends.
Yeah.
Don't act like you at all.
Yeah. So I didn't think that. And she even said, like, you're doing this for attention, which seems like, probably very true. Any celebrity has to come out and change their pronouns 4 or 5 times every year. It's probably looking for some attention.
Yeah, not a lot of people have a marketing team behind them when they come out.
That's true. Yeah, good point.
So
I know I will.
Are you going to come out today? No, I still haven't gotten my hockey jersey in.
I need a rainbow piano first. I've been saving my money.
I need my thermal button down.
Let's find out who the next person is that she has a problem with.
Second on our list is Miss Candace Cameron. Now, the thing with Candace Cameron is her and I have had very, very public beef. This I started on accident. I really did. It really was an accident. I did not mean for it to go as viral as it was. If you go back in history, you can look.
So it's, all the Candaces do not like her. Candace, when was the last time you thought about Candace Cameron?
I don't know. About 4 or 5 hours. I mean, I don't know.
Fair enough. That was the child actor on Full House, but I guess she's made a career at like Lifetime movies and different things like that. And is she Kirk Cameron's sister?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you know anything about the Camerons, uber religious people. And they're always creating content that's religious content. And I guess JoJo put out a TikTok where she was talking about the nicest celebrity she's met, the meanest celebrity, the this, the that. And she said Candace Cameron was like the meanest celebrity that she's met. And so I didn't even mean to start a beef. Like, well, no. I mean, you did. You're calling people out, which is fine. I think it's fun. I think it's a fun way to live your life. But the fact that she's sitting there going like, I don't start beefs. I don't draw first one. Okay, I did it by mistake. You know, whatever. What are you going to do?
Also, I didn't mean for it to go as viral as it did. Like,
I know.
It's not really in your control.
Well, right. But it's almost like, yeah, I mean,
It's a
not my
humble brag.
fault.
Yeah.
Well, it's a humble brag too.
Yeah. And a deflection.
Yeah. But like, what else am I supposed
It's
to
got
do?
it all.
Right. All I did was put out a very popular social network that has millions of followers.
What happened?
I was just talking to a reporter from the Associated Press.
Right.
It's not my
As
fault.
one does.
She seems to think that Candace Cameron is anti-gay.
But where it wasn't very okay what she said, it was because she was basically calling gay marriage not traditional and gay marriage weird, and gay marriage, she didn't want to publicize that. She was specifically avoiding that. And now
I should point out, like I was saying, she's making like these movies for Lifetime and stuff, and she's specifically putting in heterosexual relationships in these movies. I don't know if you guys know this. Maybe you guys watch media or content. There's enough gay stuff out there at this point. We're saturated. We're good, right?
There's a lot.
There's enough for the kids, enough for the adults.
Yeah.
All the shows.
Bloated, I'd say.
Yeah. I mean, there was a time when if there was like a gay character on a sitcom, they're like, woo. And now it's like, well, all the guys are gay on the show, right?
Yeah, Jim J. Bullock would never have made it in today's climate, is Carl's point.
Yes.
When you brought queer kid stuff to our attention,
Yeah.
I was like,
no.
okay, we've reached the limit.
Yep, we're good.
We
got it.
saturated.
that. And now, whether she meant to do that or not, she still did it. And it's still stung the community, of course. You know, we're doing all this work to be more visible and to be more out there for kids that are in the next generation to feel more normal. And it's hard when you have a person with a big platform that like just says shit like that. And so I posted a TikTok that was like, you're the Grinch. And I honestly, like, that was me being like stupid and messy and 18, like, whatever, let me live my life.
So again,
So
excuses.
stupid and messy.
but she has those excuses. As soon as she says, I did something I shouldn't have done, but I'm also 18 and, you know, I'm just, you know, what are you going to do? Jesus Christ. Can you fucking own anything? Any of your actions?
Yeah, that's the thing that I noticed too, is there's always a story, like you said, an excuse for why.
Yep.
There's an excuse for why with everything with her.
That is the LGBTQ community. It's all or nothing. And if you can't stand by it, they have an excuse to be another letter.
Yeah, I just want to point out to JoJo
Or number.
that no matter what Candace Cameron and her brother Kirk do, there's no way that kids growing up in this day and age are not going to know about gays and lesbians and trans people. It's impossible to avoid. Don't worry. People will learn about this. They'll know that's an option for them.
It's not going to stop old Kirk from trying, though.
No, I know. It's definitely not. Kirk's a weirdo. I swear to God, this is from her podcast that she just put out. And you would think that this is the equivalent of saying nothing. Listen to this.
If I saw her, I would just not say hi. You know what I mean? Where there's a lot of people that I would say hi to.
If I saw her, I would not say hi, which is the same as not even having a sentence there. And yet I saw that as a headline in Us Weekly, Entertainment Tonight, E! Online, Yahoo, and even the USA Today had a headline that Jojo Siwa would not say hi to Candace Cameron. It's like, what the fuck world am I living in? I thought I was listening to the dumbest podcast in the world, and I'm like, holy shit, this is making news everywhere. Okay. No idea that was the case.
Yeah. Who gives a fuck? I haven't even said hello to Chris, and I've been here for like a half hour.
If Candace Cameron was here, I wouldn't say hi to her either. Like, what are you doing at my house?
That's a retarded headline. That's in BoJack when Jessica Biel didn't like avocado, and that was a headline. Like they're like, Jessica Biel hates avocados, and everyone's just like, it's like a huge thing. We won't stop talking about anything until we settle this.
But that's the real world now for some reason. Vinny, you listened to her top 5 cries.
Oh my God.
She did an episode of the top 5 times that she cried. Let me just play this because I listened to this too as kind of a setup for this. This is ridiculous.
I'm not necessarily a crier, but if I get like emotionally frustrated, boom, it is waterworks every single time. I mean, I feel like that's normal.
It's a cognitive dissonance here. I'm not a crier, but if I get emotional, I cry every time. Sounds like you're a crier. Sounds like you cry a lot.
Well, when you're putting up videos, I cried 3 times today.
Yeah.
I had 3 mental breakdowns.
The
and
first
I'm
video
screaming
we
at
played,
everybody.
she's talking about how she cried all day.
Okay, so my first clip here, Carl, is how she set up this episode, and I went, this person is a complete idiot. Now, this was the first thing I listened to was this episode.
Yes.
This was my first impression. Listen to this.
I'm going to be talking about the 5 times in my life that I like really couldn't stop crying. There's a lot more than 5, but I've narrowed it down to some of my favorites.
Yeah.
Some of your favorite cries?
My top 5 emotional breakdowns.
That's insane.
He says, I'm not a crier, and then goes, I couldn't stop crying. Okay,
Right.
like, I think that really constitutes a crier if you're crying so much that you can't get a hold of yourself.
Also, it's a top 5 for a reason. If I had sex with 5 people my entire life, I wouldn't put out a top 5 list of people I've had sex with. It's like, no, this is the extensive list right here. It's like, yeah, no, we know it's more than 5. That's why this is your top 5 cries. But yeah, the word favorite is a weird bizarre, especially when she gets into it.
I've heard some strange flexes on this show.
Yeah, this
is in my top 5.
Well, I was listening to this, and the very first example, Carl, I would like to play, and I did speed up part of it a little bit just to make it more palatable for all of you.
Thank you.
But she basically cried over people being mean online when she was very little.
People are mean online?
Yeah, I know.
What?
I know.
First one that I'm going to talk about is actually when I was on my very first TV show, and this was my first experience with hate and online bullying and how foul this world is. It was after the first episode had aired, and if you don't know, ADC, Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition, is the first show that I was on, first TV show. It's a reality show. It essentially was, start with 12 dancers, one gets eliminated every single week. You dance, you do a challenge. It's fun. It's a reality TV show. It's Abby Lee. It's a Dance Mom spinoff. It is what it is. Anyway, so I was on season 2 of the show. I was the youngest. I was 9 years old during filming. I was 10 years old when it came out. And Abby posted something on her Instagram. Abby Lee had said, who do you want to go home next week? And I read the comments as one does at 10 years old. And it was every single one was Jojo, 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 Jojo. Every single comment
you're
was
unlikable.
Jojo. And I broke down.
I'm going to show them. I'm going to love pussy. I'll show them all.
Is that what did it?
Yeah, it might be. But here's what really sucked me into this, folks.
Okay.
I think she's lying about part of this, but listening to her mother, which her describing how her relationship was with her mother at the time, where she's 9 or 10 years old. She's reading all these people saying that they think she should go home on the show.
Yep.
And this is the mom's response. And I don't know if I believe this, but if this is the case, this is how you build a narcissist.
Well, the mom is pretty awful. This is a dance mom. Let's remember.
Okay, good point.
Anyways, so I come down the stairs. I was like, Mom, and she was like, oh my God, what happened? Like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, just look what everyone's saying. And she was like, what do you mean? And I was like, look at Abby's post. And she was reading it. And she was like, Jojo, let me ask you a question. And I was like, what is it? She was like, do you go home? And I was like, well, no. And she was like, okay, so then why do you care what these people are saying? And I was like, because they're being so mean. And she said, no, they're not. She said, they're saying your name. And I said, huh? And I kind of paused for a second. And she was like, they're saying your name. They're not saying anyone else's name. They know you and they know your name. And funny enough, I'm just literally just thinking about this now and just realizing this now. That was the start of me being people's guilty pleasure. No pun intended. Absolutely a pun intended.
Turned out it was just a huge win for her.
Yeah.
Wait, are you telling me they don't boo nobody?
I couldn't.
I know. We all wanted to say it.
Carl, my jaw was I was like, what the fuck? And she's just so matter of fact, this is positive. It's like, listen, kid, sometimes people are going to tell you if something you're doing is not good. And sometimes you should listen to people and, adjust your behavior because, I know this is entertainment and all, but you want to be likable if you want to have a career. I don't fucking know. It just seems like it's insane to tell a child that's 10 years old this.
Well, the other thing that is sandwiched in between those clips that I pulled from this is, remember, she set this up by saying, I'm not a crier, guys. Oh, I know. I just, every now and again.
Now, think about me is when I cry, I cry. Like cry. And like you can tell that I have been crying. I get a web face. It is very dramatic. And I can't pull it together when I'm crying.
Oh, you need attention? No shit. You don't say.
Can I just please follow up on my last clip?
Yeah, what a child. What a childish thing to say.
Carl, listen to this delusion. Clip number 4.
But that was kind of my first experience with like true internet hate. And it was hard for me to understand that because I didn't understand why everyone wanted me to go home. You know, so obviously my mind goes, they want me to go home because they hate me. You know what I mean? And I didn't understand that it was just a reality TV show and that's how it's going to be. And like, the like least favorite is actually the favorite. That's like the weirdest thing about reality TV is the least favorite is actually the favorite.
Oh, and the podcast that gets the least amount of views is actually the most popular.
Right.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay,
You guys got it. Good. I'm glad you caught what I was putting down.
Still press, right?
Right. That's some mental gymnastics right there.
That was beaten into a 9-year-old.
On this episode, she's talking about the 5 people she won't have on her show. We heard Candace Owens, Candace Cameron. And then she says someone that she does like for some reason. Okay, that's cool. Balance things out a little bit.
Somebody that I would love to have on my podcast, but I couldn't, is Mr. Freddie Mercury.
No, that's so boring.
Besmirch my man.
That's so boring. That's so stupid.
I would have loved to have gotten a statement for him for my TikTok. Tell me how great I am.
So,
oh, wow.
Then listen to this flex. She had a conversation with Sir Elton John about Freddie Mercury because Freddie and Elton were friends.
I don't know. It was just mind blowing to sit there and be like, this is real stories. Like you were really his friend. You really know what happened. Fascinating. Oh, it was amazing.
I hate the way she talks. I was just looking at Missy B's reaction to that. You're just like, poof, what's going on right now?
I refuse to think that these old entertainers are that interesting.
No.
And like, what is Elton going to tell him about Freddie? Oh yes, we used to go bonk jets together at the baths. Like, what are they going to what is she going to tell this child?
Dropping poppers.
Right. A little docking.
We used to bottom blokes together down by the telly.
All right, let's get back to who she wouldn't have on. And this one I was like, oh, this is an interesting choice.
All right, let me go toxic one more time. Trisha Paytas. Look.
All right.
Here, this is tough for me. This is tough for me because me and Trisha were friends. Did we go to dinner together? No.
Okay, well, no one asked. So, her and Trisha Paytas. yeah, she asked. She's the only one who asked. Her and Trisha Paytas were friendly with each other, and they've had a falling out. And I did a little deep dive on this whole thing, too.
Because as a kid, I did bring a lot of views. I brought a lot of views to a lot of people's videos.
So she's talking about how they used to team up and do videos together. Trisha Paytas, of course, we've covered her a bunch of times on here. She is a famous influencer, YouTuber, has a podcast or two, was a mukbanger for a while. Can you call them that? Mukbangers?
Sure.
Okay.
Also completely exhausting like this broad.
Also exhausting, but unlike this broad, very fat.
There's that.
Very hard to look at. All right, that sums up Trisha Paytas. Everything you need to know. Moving on.
Because as a kid, I did bring a lot of views. I brought a lot of views to a lot of people's videos, my own. But also, if somebody did a video with me, it brought a lot of views to their videos. And that's not me flexing. That's not me saying blah, blah. It's literally like the number fact. And
Jack.
She just said that's the number fact. She tried to start a new thing now. Thought that was crazy. This is not me flexing, but I'm super popular and I get everyone to watch videos if I'm in them. That's you flexing. I like Jody B says, Job of the Slut. I haven't heard that one for Trisha before.
That's pretty good.
Yes, Adam 22 did bang her, which is the weirdest thing.
Ugh.
Yeah, I still don't understand that. But I guess when you get that much pussy, you're just like, change it up, whatever.
Change it up.
Yeah, see what this is all about over here. So listen to this, because what Jojo says here is very interesting.
But Trisha is the only one that has traded for some reason. And I mean, she has her valid reasons, I guess, but I don't know. It's just very confusing to me because she does have her valid reasons, but I don't think she realizes you know what, say what you want, but then why the fuck were you friends with me at 14?
So she goes, well, she doesn't like me. She has her valid reasons. She did that twice. Valid reasons for not liking you. It's like, what are these reasons? I want to know what that is. She doesn't say. So I went ahead and started digging a little bit. Jojo Siwa and her mom started up a show. I think it was a web series. But basically, they were doing the same thing that the show that they were on, but now they were hosting it. They're going to create a new pop band called XOMG Pop. And so they were auditioning all of these girls to sing and dance, and they're going to put together this pop group from that program. It might still be going on. And I guess a lot of people said the conditions were bad. People weren't treated very well.
Isn't that just like making the band? Isn't that just like what Diddy used to do?
Yeah. Well, that's what Diddy used to do. And that's the problem, because there's a lot of backlash and negative attention being put on this and how people were treated, how they were compensated. Because
Damn it, what didn't Diddy do?
It's amazing how you can take advantage of these dance moms who just want their kids to be famous so badly, they'll put them through any kind of hell.
And they also want attention for themselves.
Well, I mean, let's be realistic here for a second. Are there really famous dancers?
Well, I guess this is like a...
Like, it's a stupid thing to push your child into, is my point.
What was
famous dancer
Britney
is that?
Spears' daddy, baby's daddy? Kevin Federline. There you go.
Yeah, but he got famous because
I thought of one famous dancer.
Victory lap.
He banged the pop star.
Jennifer Lopez? Wasn't she a fly girl?
Okay.
Her fame came from singing.
No, I know. Well, correct. And I think that's the same with JoJo.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you have to be the total package to get somewhere. And if you're just pushing your kid into dance, you're probably...
Yeah, you got to be multi-talented like us.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Corey Feldman.
Like Corey Feldman. That's how you do it.
Yeah, you got to be the total package.
So let's see. What did Trish say about JoJo? Let's get to the bottom of this beef.
I think it just shows the cycle of abuse, really, because clearly JoJo does not think she was abused or exploited as a child, and she clearly was. Like, anybody could just see it without having to like talk about it. So the fact that she's still friends with like Abby Lee and all this stuff like that, it's like, this is where the cycle of abuse just continues. And then the mom too, it's just like, okay, you did this to your own daughter. Why are you doing it to all these other people to like promise them fame? And like, they didn't have anything. So they're like, oh, here.
Trisha talked about what JoJo and Jesselyn's attorney had to say in their statement denying such claims of mistreatment of the girls, and put the blame on the former XOMG Pop member's mother, saying that she was removed for her own abusive behavior, turning the tables on her, saying that she was the one who was not behaving properly. But
isn't that odd that she used the word valid reasons? Listen to what Trish is saying. He's like, yeah, you went through abuse as a child trying to become famous, and now you're doing this to these other children who are trying to become famous. Well, she's got some valid reasons for not liking me. Huh.
Trisha felt like she didn't even...
What's that?
No,
It's weird, right?
That really is. Like, I'm processing that as you said it. And the fact that she's like understands that what she's saying, that there's truth to it, but still goes along with it. She's just part of the fucking system. Dude.
Yes.
It isn't like just like isn't agreeing with the start, but agrees with the latter portion. Is that correct? Am I understanding this logic right now?
Well, there's more to it. Let's see what else Trish says about her.
Even want to hear what JoJo and her mom had to say, given her past of defending people like Colleen.
I don't want to hear JoJo's side on it. Honestly, she has the worst takes when it comes to like when she's defending Colleen. I was like, girl, she misses the point completely all the time. Like, I don't know if it's just like, again, I like she is a victim of like, I think child exploitation for sure. Or it's like she just didn't develop and she's just like not fully like aware, and that's what I have to like think. But it's like she's so unaware of these situations. But you know, supposedly she was like yelling at them too. Allegedly JoJo was like yelling at all them, comparing them.
It's clear, much like a lot of people who have heard what JoJo had to say about Colleen last year, that Trisha does not have the best feelings about JoJo these days. She thinks that she has issues and has just recreated this world in which she grew up in, but for others, and that is not okay.
Yeah, so
never thought I'd agree with Trisha on something.
I know.
Here we are.
Trisha Paytas' side when I was going through this. I'm like, fuck. This is what you're doing to me, JoJo.
Here we are.
Weird.
That girl misses the point when people try to explain things to her?
Yeah, go figure.
Shocking.
So what happened here is that when they were friends, back when JoJo was 14 years old, I guess Trisha was dressing up like JoJo.
You dressed up as me. You put your hair in a side ponytail and bow. You wore a rainbow tutu. You wore my hoodie. And now I know you were not doing that to be like fun and have fun and like make a video. You were doing that to make fun of me, you asshole. Like I was a 14-year-old kid. Find it. Can it? Don't do that. That's not cool. What if someone did that to your kid?
So now she's the victim. Interesting how that works out because Trisha is calling her out for ruining these poor young girls' lives. And now she's turning that around and going, yeah, but you dressed up like me when I was 14, and I guess you were making fun of me.
You wouldn't
She
like
didn't
that.
say
You
I
wouldn't be cool with
guess. She wholeheartedly believed that. Like she
Right.
saw that as an attack, and it's
They
like
were doing videos
They're
together.
doing videos together.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, obviously they're on the same side.
I bet you they were mukbang videos.
you just wanted
And
to be
so
like me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just buckets of chicken and side bows. I might watch that.
Yeah, seeing her stuff on the internet anytime she talks about me, I'm like, dude, just shut the fuck up. Get your views somehow else. Like, you're literally Trisha Paytas. You're a fucking icon. You are an icon. You have created some of the most viral videos out there. Come up with something else. Like, anything else. But it's fine. She's gonna do what she's gonna do. She's gonna talk the way she wants to talk, and that is just that.
What's interesting there is the fact that she is not wanting to get into beefs with people, but she's going to slap back if they start it. That's how she started the show, saying all of that. And then she's like, why are you even talking about me? You got other things to talk about. Why are you talking about little old me over here?
I did not draw first blood.
She's pouring gasoline on a fire and going, why won't someone put this fucking fire out? I don't understand.
She's doing a podcast saying, these are the people that aren't good enough for my podcast.
Right.
And she doesn't expect there to be any response to that.
And not for nothing, she probably has a bigger podcast than I do, but having these people on your show would be a good thing. Why don't you hash it out with Candace Owens on your show?
Yeah, she clearly doesn't have a producer.
Right. This doesn't make any sense. I won't have these people on the show because we have a lot to talk about. Wait, that doesn't make much sense at all.
You don't think people would listen to the Candace Bure episode?
Yeah.
JoJo?
I think they would. All right, let's find out. She's got a big announcement.
Anyways, last one. This is the one that everyone's been waiting for. Dream guest on my podcast. I can't even fucking recreate the way that I said that. Dream guest on my podcast. Let's spice things up a little bit. Probably
Come on,
my
Chuck.
exes. Honestly, that's when my vocals were fried. Didn't know it, but I had mono during that. So my vocal cords were shredded to flames.
All right, spoiler. Top 5 people she want to have her podcast. Never gets to 4 or 5.
Really?
I swear to God, it's just those 3. And then she says that she has one of her exes would be great to have on her podcast.
Oh yeah, one of my exes.
She
thinks, walks away.
She thinks she's so interesting. Right.
And so for me, that makes me very happy that she never disappeared out of my life. Okay, we both disappeared because we needed to heal and to take our time and to but we always have been there for each other. And if either of us calls, we will always answer. We will always reply. It's very mutual. We have a very good relationship now, which I'm very, very grateful for. And it just feels like, even though it ended, we did something right and there was something good, and it's all good, happy, fun memories. So I think I would have her on my podcast. Oh, I would have my ex-boyfriends on my podcast. Abso-fucking-lutely, in a heartbeat.
She completely forgot what she was doing on this show. Who are you not going to have? She's like, I would have this one ex-girlfriend. I'd have my ex-boyfriends on. Okay.
I should do this. I should do
Yeah,
that.
right. So I didn't understand the point of that. I was hoping for a couple more.
Get through the 5 of no's and then do the 5 of yeses.
Right. Yeah, make it 2 different shows. But I wanted her to get into more arguments with other celebrities.
Dang.
Who are these podcasts? WA